All right, hey, welcome back, dudes. It is great to see you. I hope you guys enjoyed my last video. I had to actually re-edit that whole video. I edited it all. My computer blue screen, and I found out I didn't have autosave on. That's a problem. Today's a whole new video about something cool. I wanted to show you guys that I bought a piece of tech off of Amazon, and I was testing it out, and it's this little thing right here, and I know it's backwards, but it's called Benbox, and it's from a company called INKEE, I-N-K-E-E. So this product will take any camera you have and make it wireless. I know, pretty cool, right? So yeah, basically you can turn your camera with this little device right here. Let me go ahead and mount this up just so you can kind of see what it looks like. If I mount this bad boy up, you can see it didn't really add too much to the camera body itself. Now this is a Lumix G7 with a simple 8mm lens on the front of it. What it allows you to do is it allows you to use your phone as a monitoring device. Let's say you didn't have a way to flip out your little screen here and you wanted to be able to monitor that camera from far away. Well, this box is what you need. All you need to do is plug in your camera's HDMI into the HDMI on the Benbox here, and then it will transmit a signal over Wi-Fi. Now it's just global Wi-Fi. You don't have to like have your own network or anything like that. It'll send out its own Wi-Fi signal, and you can connect to that on your phone, on your laptop, on your iPad, your this, your that, anything that has a screen and the internet and a way to get the application from INKEE. You can get this thing to show wireless feed. And let me give you a quick demo right now. All I've done is I mount the thing on the top here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in an HDMI cable. Nice and simple. Flip it over to this side, plug it in, boom, just like that. That's all I'm doing. I'll tidy it up. Force stretched out. Actually, I really don't like that. Okay, so I just simply, you can see okay, that looks stupid, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it into the Benbox just like that. I'm gonna open up my screen, turn on the camera. And so now the camera's on, so the little flip out screen is showing you there's a little something there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the Benbox by double tap and hold the thing here. You see these little blue lights flicker on. You got a little Wi-Fi signal. You got the battery level. So then I'm going to go ahead and take my phone. I'm going to open up the INKEE app. That's saying INKEE is just driving me up a wall. The only thing I got to do is make sure I'm connected to the box itself. So I go into my wireless settings. I scroll to Benbox, which pops up here. I select it. It's going to go ahead and connect. It's going to show me that there's no internet. I'm going to go ahead and swap on back to the application, and now I'm seeing a little Wi-Fi signal right here, and now I'm seeing battery life and everything. I go ahead and hit the little play button, and after a second, we're in. That's it. So you can see that it's filming and it's live. This is it. That's the whole thing. Pretty cool, right? Basically, it's a monitor for your camera to be wireless, so you can have somebody monitoring your shots or whatever you're doing. Or let's say you wanted to mount it to your computer. It's just as simple. All you got to do is download an application, install it. It's a little hard because it's all in a different language, but you know, I use my phone to translate it. Anyways, to translate it, once I installed it, it's exactly the same thing. Let me go ahead and show you exactly what that looks like on your PC. So while we're still connected here, let me go ahead and flash over to my desktop, and I'm going to open up the INKEE application here. And what you're going to do is the exact same thing. The only thing you need to make sure is that you have Wi-Fi on whatever computer you're on. So I go ahead and go over to here, and I can see that Benbox shows up on the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and automatically connect to that. It's gonna take a second. You can already see it's already finding the signal. It's trying to look for it. It's trying to hunt it down. And just like that, it ended up finding it, and you can see it shows its own battery life. It shows the camera and its signal and everything. But right now, because I haven't hit the little play button down here, it's not showing anything. So all you gotta do is hit play. And now we got our signal. So if I bring my camera up, you can see just like that, man. Now I have a wireless camera, no connection other than using the device on the top to connect it wirelessly to your computer. So a couple things about this software. You get some various tools. Let me go ahead and go full screen here. Now, full screen has a little bit of weird issues. If I actually go full screen, it ends up chopping off the top of the video feed. A little strange. So I'm gonna go ahead and undo that. I'm gonna go ahead and drag this window to the far top left here. I'm gonna start to drag the right side of this window. So it's not perfect, but you can see the UI is doing some weird stuff. It kind of gets cut off up top here, and some other weird stuff is happening. So when you first load in, it will send a 720p signal, but you can change that by coming over here to the video. And when you click on video, you have the option to select 1080p or 720p, and that's going to be sending it at a 60 frames per second video. Let me go ahead and choose a 60 frames per second video feed here. So now I'm on 60. I'm gonna go ahead and select 1080p, exit out of that, and now we have 60 FPS video that is now being sent wirelessly to my computer. So over here on the top left, you do have these a couple options here on video. You can also choose to update the camera if you need to. There's a Wi-Fi option, which I'm not really too sure. Let me go ahead and see here. What does the old instruction manual say? Wi-Fi shift and country select can be operated in the app home page. Wi-Fi shift. So it's potential that I can shift to another Wi-Fi source. I don't know. So once you do that, you select and you get yourself your 1080p. Very simple. You can also choose to take a picture, or you can start recording. On the bottom right here, you do have a couple of cool things. The waveform monitors, which is pretty nice. You also got zebras. So if I go ahead and click and drag on my screen as if I was on my phone, I could drag and I can set a level right here. It's at 57%. I usually keep it kind of low, something around like, you know, 10. That's kind of showing stuff that's clipping. This isn't the easiest thing to maneuver. It's a little finicky, but you can kind of see on the bottom here, you got a little overexposure from the light that I got here on the side. And, you know, that way you can kind of maintain and keep track of your highlights in the background and whatnot. You can see my nano leaves back there are blown out. So you got this other button right here, and that's going to be your saturation, just to desaturate, go full black and white mode. And that way you can really look at how your lighting is being affected. I do this a lot on without using this app or anything like that, but it's a good way to see how your light is hitting your subject and how, you know, the contrast ratio between things. So, you know, if I'm looking at this image, I'm kind of liking how this edge is doing on my side here. I could use a little bit more, maybe tone down the backlight, even though it's now a different, it's not the backlight in this camera. That's kind of the backlight now. That's besides the point. Maybe the nano leaves are too bright and I want to bring those down a little bit, but you can see it's a good way to check the wall, kind of see how evenly lit the wall is maybe. Going black and white is really strong and powerful tool to go ahead and check your contrast and your lighting and all that. Down here, we got a couple different, you know, rule of thirds and some other stuff that you guys are probably used to seeing. And it's kind of a good way to have a mental note of like where things are in your frame. So, you know, rule of thirds, you always kind of want to be in a third. And you also have some LUTs down here. And if you go ahead and open this up, you can scroll through and download all these different types of LUTs and you can apply them. Essentially, it's just like you're grading on the fly. I choose to just leave it how it is just because I already know what my image is going to look like. So I'm not too worried about it. This is all on the application too. So if you guys wanted to control everything via your app, you could. And let me go ahead and connect my phone to it right now. Go back to Benbox here. And while we're still connected to this thing, so we can get a secondary source, I think you can have up to 4 devices connected at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the Wi-Fi. So if I go ahead and connect to the Wi-Fi, click on Benbox on my phone, I'm going to open up the INKEE app. And now that I'm opening up the INKEE app, I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button here. And just like that, we now have a video feed on wireless to our phone, wireless to our PC. And if I had 2 more devices, I can connect those as well. And it's really cool to be able to have someone sit there and be able to monitor your feed while you're getting ready to shoot. So if I wanted to go ahead and turn on, you know, those waveforms are back on, or I can go into the black and white mode, or I can just tap the screen and just go full on no menu modes. And if I double click on my screen here, it just gets rid of all the menus. So you can see how cool this is. And a lot of cameras that don't have a nice flip out monitor. You think of something like an A7S or something from a Sony lineup that they only have those little simple flip up monitors. This might be a good tool because now you just got to get yourself maybe a little phone bracket, mount it in the phone bracket and turn that thing around. Here, let me show you. So I got this little tiny mount here, and it's a little cold shoe mount to another cold shoe mount. Just allows me to put more cold shoes on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this, and we're going to mount the Benbox, slide that in, tighten that down. And now we got a little mount up on the top. So let me go ahead and take my phone. Now I have the monitor right there. Even though I have this monitor and the flip out screen, you know, if I needed to turn this around and get myself a way to be able to see what I'm filming, it's a kind of a cool feature. So you can kind of see how powerful this might be. Let me go ahead and just turn this whole thing around. So let's say I was vlogging on the fly here and I didn't want to, you know, I don't have a cool camera with a flip out screen. Granted, you could probably get a smaller mount for this thing, but now you can see I have a little monitor here. And now when I'm vlogging, I can kind of sit here and monitor up here on the top. So, you know, if I'm moving my hand in within this little frame, you can kind of see on this little picture here. And if I go back to my desktop, you can kind of see, you know, I'm still able to point to the camera, look here, and be able to check my frame every now and then, which is pretty cool. And you know, it's something that you can maybe use for your own streams or your going lives or your thises and your that's. So consider that this is a potential cool little device that you can use. You can see how cool it is that I can monitor on the fly too. You know, it's really nice to be able to sit here and show somebody like, hey, here's my shot. Like maybe you can monitor it while I go film around the corner. You know what I mean? Now, this does have a range of 300 feet, 100 meters, something like that. I don't know the conversion, but so I forgot to mention that this actually has its own built-in battery. And not only that is like, if you needed to use this and it was running low, you could always just plug it directly into this little USB Type-C connector and go ahead and get it charging while you're using it. So if you have a little thing in your pocket and just strap a cable in there real quick and you should be good to go. To be able to charge it on the fly while you're filming or you're on set. Another feature this comes with is on the side here, you got a little USB port on the side. Now that is used for connecting that to your camera. So technically from my camera, I can hit start recording or take a picture. So I can actually start recording from the app, which is a really cool feature. Maybe the camera's up in a high spot and I can't run up there and hit the button to start it. So I just hit record on my app and now it's recording and you know there's no issue. It's really cool that it has a built-in battery and the battery life kind of, I don't know how long it really ranges. I haven't really tested out how long this thing will last, but according to the website, if I scroll down, we have about 3.5 hours of usage before we'll need to recharge. And that's not bad considering it's a little tiny device. You know, it can fit in your pocket. This thing is tiny. Okay. You can see right here in this picture, there's not a lot of space there that you got to occupy in your pocket. So it's really nice to be able to charge this on the go. And let's say you are in downtime and you got to step away from the camera. You just take the Benbox, pop that off, plug it into a USB Type-C. Maybe you got a little battery brick with you to charge your phone on the fly, so you might as well just plug in your Benbox and charge that up on the fly as well. Just guesstimate, go down to 3 hours and just for wiggle room, just in case. Now the latency is pretty fast. You can see right here, it is showing 150 milliseconds, and that's pretty quick. You kind of saw in the little demo here. So if I go back to my camera, you can kind of see just how fast it is. You know, if I move my hand here, you can kind of see that it's a little delay, but it's not too bad. Now, where it does become a problem is if you are using audio and you gotta sync up the audio perfectly. Now, there is one huge downside to this thing, and that's that it won't send audio. So that's the only flaw. Now, I did come up with a solution, and let me show you that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and slide that on over. And I wanted to show you guys exactly what my idea was for getting audio and whatnot on the fly. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up OBS, and if I open up OBS, you're gonna see that it's already capturing the image, and that's because I added a game capture, and I'm just capturing this window right here on the side. I'm gonna drag that back over there. I'm gonna drag this, make it as big as I can. One of my fellow viewers got me a little wireless lavalier, and this thing I think went for like 30 to 50 bucks on Amazon, and it's really solid. It's not the best in the world by any means, but it allows me to go ahead and clip a little audio to me. I'm gonna go ahead and I powered this on. I powered this thing over here. I'm gonna go to my back to my OBS here, and now that they're both powered on, you can already see I'm receiving a signal down here in the bottom. So if I were to start recording, I would have the audio. Not only that, because it's wireless and there's already some delays and whatnot, I happen to get very lucky, and I did a little test recording. I didn't change any settings on this bad boy, and you know, all I did is I connected this to my computer through its microphone jack, and over here on the side, I just literally I'm setting it through voice meter just to get a little bit better you know, levels and gain and a little bit more bass in the voice and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and minimize that. But back over here inside, I'm capturing that output from voice meter. So all I'm doing is going from a little wireless lavalier that's connected to my t-shirt, going from this little box right here on the side, which then goes over to a receiver, and that receiver is just going into my microphone as an input into my OBS. Just for giggles, I'm gonna go ahead and try a little test here. So I think if when I use this is exactly what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna go ahead and connect my little wireless lavalier here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this this little thing right here. I'm gonna stick it inside my my t-shirt. That's where I'm just gonna stick that, leave the cable as it is. I'm not too concerned. And so now we have the wireless. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my microphone. And what I'm gonna do is once I mute, I'm gonna unmute the lavalier inside of OBS, and I'm also going to listen to that device through OBS. So if I come over here to advanced audio properties, now granted this is going to sound way worse than my current microphone, I'm gonna go ahead and go into monitor and output, or monitor and mute output. Doesn't really matter because I'm not really recording. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that, and I'm gonna mute my mic here. So now you should be hearing the lavalier. Now again, it's not the best thing ever, at least it's something. So one thing that I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up, and you can see the audio sync is not bad. It's pretty accurate, you know, considering all things here. Let me go ahead and give you guys a little clap test. So if I clap, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this thing, and we're gonna go wireless somewhere. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and just right click on my screen, go over to full screen projector, full screen it. Now I'm in full screen mode. I'm gonna go ahead and hide my webcam on my OBS, maybe go cinematic mode, and now we are fully wireless and I'm able to walk around my apartment and show you guys that this is actually a pretty cool feature, which maybe some of you guys would enjoy. So if this is ever something you guys would want to use, you could use this. You know, it's a cool little thing that I found, and it's only $100. So, you know, why not use it? So you can see just how, let me take off this microphone, man. So you can see, pretty cool, man. You know, considering all things, you know, I got myself a little $30, you know, lavalier, and I got myself the $100 Benbox here, which is a pretty good price considering what it can do. And again, this can go up to 300 feet. So that's pretty far, and it'll go through walls. This is the Benbox, and it's a pretty cool little piece of tech here that is so small, but it offers so much. And, you know, alongside my other pieces of gear here, so, you know, considering I'm only really carrying 2 pieces of gear with me, this on top of my camera is far superior than most other options out there just for the price alone. So maybe you want to look into getting this for yourself and let me know how it goes. There is some variations out there on this product, and you might find them a little bit more expensive. I happen to find this one that was pretty cheap. I was actually looking at a different product when I found this, and I thought, why not test it out and send you guys a video all about this situation, because I think this is pretty cool. So that concludes this little product showcase tutorial thing to allow you guys to maybe do a little bit of IRL streaming within your apartment, or maybe you want to, you know, go do your Zoom call, but you want to like go around in your apartment with a wireless camera, or maybe you just stick to using your phone in the first place. You know, it's all your call. But I'll probably use this thing for streaming up here in a while. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys did like it, maybe give it an old like and maybe sub to the channel if you want. No pressure, man. But yo, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next video, maybe next week. I'm live on Twitch Monday through Friday, except Wednesdays. I usually make these videos on Wednesdays. Come by, ask me any questions, or if you want to talk to me, I'll be there waiting. Just come in. Activator, what's that box? Well, I'll tell you what that. Just come in if you want. No pressure. All right. You take it easy. Have a good one. Stay awesome. Bye.